proper ship with the fighter bay. Yeah. Don't see too many flown by commanders. I guess they're all at war. Yeah, in their proper ships with the fighter bays. Whoa, hey. But I don't care if you laugh at the small hard points, cause they're bigger than you, and that's just how it goes again. I'm in a big ship, so little ship. It's my starship, it's pathetic. A new commander's on his way. I'm in a big ship, so little ship. It's my starship, pathetic. A new commander's on his way. So now I'm free, I'm texting all those girls who turn their noses up. I flew a smaller ship and I lost it all, okay. But in this capital with base so full, I think they'll change their minds. I got a proper ship with a fighter bay, yeah, hey. But I don't care if they laugh at the small hard points, cause they're bigger than you, and I'm just how it goes. I'm in a big ship, so it's my starship. The new commander's on his way. I'm in a big ship, so yeah, it's my starship. The new commander's on his way. See you at the revive screen, boy. At the revive screen, boy. See you at the revive screen, boy. At the revive screen. So now I've got my floppy wings in tow. I'm heading to the res. I'll fight a bigger ship with a fighter bay and blow. But I don't care, cause in this new kill back, the comeback will be mine. I like a proper ship with a fighter bay. Whoa, hey. But I don't care if they laugh at the small hard points, cause I'm bigger than you, and I'm just how it goes. I'm in a big ship, so little ship. It's my starship, pathetic. A new commander's on his way. I'm in a big ship, so little ship. It's like a starship, pathetic. A new commander's on his way. See you at the revive screen. See you at the revive screen, boy. See you at the revive screen, boy. At the revive screen. See you at the revive screen, boy. At the revive screen, boy. See you at the revive screen, boy. At the revive screen, boy.
I spend so much time...
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
Community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 483 of Lave Radio, the show about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Psychic, also known as Claire, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode are our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, good evening everyone.
Our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Ayla Weiss, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Yeah, Ben Moodward works.
Yeah, that's your name.
Yeah, I'll live with it.
We have no Colin this week because Colin is being all fancy on Hollybobs. So stepping in is the wonderful Chris Mark 4. Fucking hell. Shall we just start again?
greetings.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi. Holy shit. Okay, if you wish, you can join us live. Chris is in game. He's hanging out in game in open at the bar. I assume you've got your usual table.
I've got my reserve table. It's got the little sticker on it.
Incredible. Cool. If you can't get in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live, clicking on live chat, and on twitch.tv/lave radio. Shall we have a chat about what we've been up to this week? Alec, what have you been up to, my love?
All sorts. Blooming all sorts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, buckle in. There were train strikes last week, so it had a bit of a nightmare. And then Friday they were on strike, as well as the trains just being generally broken. So I thought balls to that and took the day off. And my wife and I drove into London and had a nice day. Went to Fortnum & Mason's for breakfast, which was expensive but nice. And then did some art at the Royal Academy, and then ate some lunch at the Royal Academy.
You did some art at the Royal Academy?
Well,
as you do.
Did some art, as in looked at some art.
Oh, okay. I
didn't like go painting.
You went to a course.
just to help myself.
SRV Banksy's been graffitiing.
Yeah. You could have drawn a stickman or something, or drawn an SRV.
Just drove in there on my Skoda and started making tyre tracks around their forecourt. Going, look, it's art, isn't it?
Hey, you do that at the Tate, and there would be art.
And then Saturday had a superb day. So Saturday I went up to London to meet Razafrag, who is the developer of ED Copilot, and his good lady Mrs. Razafrag. Met in a pub near Alexandra Palace. Had a few drinks, had some food, had lots of lovely chats. He's a super bloke, very fascinating to hear all about ED Copilot and all the work that's gone into it. And then we all ambled up to Alexandra Palace to see Underworld, who were bloomin' fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while since I've been to a gig, and love Alexandra Palace. I'd forgotten how much of a cool venue it is. I mean, it's big, and I like small venues generally, but it's a cool big venue. It's got amazing views over the London skyline. It was a beautiful evening, and Underworld were epic. So it was. I did throw some shapes, little Vicky, and I threw lots of shapes. I got very drunk actually. And probably embarrassed myself in front of the Razafrags, but it was fine. I was very chatty and excitable and drunk, and I threw lots of shapes.
Amazing.
and then I had a hangover on Sunday, and then I recovered. And today is Tuesday, and I've bought a new PC today. I decided, what the hell, and I've just bought myself a new
You've finally done it after talking about it for approximately 6 months. Yeah.
November, I started talking about it, and I pulled the trigger today, having considered every possible angle. There was no more excuses. The build was perfect. There was literally no more excuses. Yeah, that's fun.
So how's the post-PC hangover?
I'm all right at the moment. We shall... And I now have to wait patiently while they build it and send it to me, which hopefully won't take too long. And then the next nightmare begins, which is you suddenly look at the desktop of your PC and all the essential icons and programs that you rely on daily, and you think, bollocks, I've got to transfer every single one of these to my new machine. I think I might take some days off work actually to do that. But it'll be fun, and it'll be epic in the end, and it will run. I should be able to run Odyssey easily at 40, 50 frames a second.
Famous last words right there.
Surely.
Absolutely famous last words. You'll get to a planet and you'll be like, why is it only 20 frames per second? What's going on?
It's still only 60. This is ridiculous.
I'm sure it'll be lovely. Do you have a time frame on when that's going to arrive?
It is supposed to be they do say like 5 to 6 days, but
is it really? Okay.
Apparently, yeah. We'll wait and see.
Should be the next week.
Bated breath, yeah. In game, I've done. God, it's one of those periods where you find yourself not quite knowing what to do. I've flown a lot of distance because I keep flitting between things and then changing my mind about what I want to do. So I went to Oya. More on this later, of course. But there was the big call to arms at Oya. Right, so I flew out there and then realised that it ain't happening, and went somewhere else. And then yes, of course, I know what I did today. So on your stream, Psychic, I saw a Empire capital ship hovering 2 kilometers off the ground and thought that looks bloody cool. And people may remember that I leapt my SRV onto a federal capital ship quite a long time ago under similar circumstances. So this morning I went zooming off to the system you were in, and it was still blooming there. Can you believe it?
Was it really? Okay.
Yeah. So I spent all morning trying to leap my SRV up onto it, but it's not super high gravity, but it's difficult for doing that sort of antics. So I couldn't quite reach it, which was really frustrating. And then I got re-instanced, and then it wouldn't come back. It disappeared, and I couldn't get back to the instance where it was.
Yeah, we only had it once of all of the things that only dropped in for us once. It must be super rare to get them to drop in.
I feel like probably what happened, and I think this is kind of the way the game works, is I'm guessing it spawned in for somebody. So there's a player. I was in open. And I think in some sense they become the leader of the instance, the leader of the pack. They're the leader of the instance, I guess. And so what they see, everybody else sees. So I think as long as that player was there, it was their instance with the capital ship in it. And then I'm guessing what happened is they logged out or got blown up. And then when I drove the SRV back into the garage to have another go, I suddenly got thrown into a different instance with different people. And I guess that original instance is gone, maybe. I don't know. I don't quite understand how it works. And I don't understand how to get the damn thing to come back other than just constantly relogging and praying to RNG. But
yeah, you'd think it would work kind of similarly to, I suppose, when you trigger the first war, when the war starts, you don't have to, once you've signed up, it just sort of cycles, doesn't it? It doesn't give you another option to sign up after that war's finished. So I wonder if once the first war section is done and the capital ship buggers off, then it's not triggering like a new war, and that's maybe why it doesn't come back, because it was on our first one that it dropped in as well. I'm just thinking that might be
It was super cool. And you know how you were desperately trying to kite interceptors down to it?
Yeah.
In my instance, they were all over it. It was
Well,
epic.
good for you.
But unfortunately, I wasn't interested. I just wanted to get my SRV on it. Oh, well. Next time.
It's really cool when it happens. It's
It is.
the thing that's funny is that we had it was like an equal amount of people. Half of the people in chat were, we can't believe that this can happen. I've never seen anything like this before. And then the other people were like, yeah, no, it does happen. It's just really rare. There was it was either complete shock or very surprised, or not surprised at all in the slightest. And I really enjoyed that. It was a good balance. Cool. Ben, what have you been up to?
Like I've done the, I did the whole call to arms and went off and made a few million at Oya. And like Alec, I then realized that whilst I enjoyed myself, all my work is essentially for naught if I cared about getting a skin, which I do apparently. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just heard noises in the background. I wasn't sure if it was me or something.
It was me. It was background with me. Sorry, my apologies.
So yeah, did that. Then basically everything else I've been doing has been I've been looking for warm hugs of games, as I was saying earlier in the to the guys pre-show. So naturally, I've been playing RimWorld.
Oh, okay.
Can you think
of
of any
nice warm hug? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can you think of anything more warm huggy with RimWorld?
No,
exactly. But as I've said, I found that RimWorld has some Mass Effect mods. So that's been proving entertaining for this run through. But yeah, that's really been my life because I've not been feeling it doing anything particularly energetic in games due to real life happening and things like that. So I was like, I just want something chill and so then I could just sort of sit back, enjoy a coffee or a whiskey, and watch some casual brutality.
Nice.
And then make chairs out of their corpses.
As you do.
As you do. I mean, these are things. Oh, and I accidentally turned my lead negotiator into a vampire.
In what?
In RimWorld.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. I haven't played it, so I didn't get that.
Yeah. So yeah, I told her to have a look at somebody, and I was like, what does this button do? And then the next moment I realized she was collapsed, and then I saw that essentially she'd become a vampire. So I was like, oh, okay, that happened.
As you do.
As you do.
Cool.
Even as we talk, there's a capital ship in the stream right now. Look at that.
It's a screenshot.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
It's not real.
It's a screenshot. It's a screenshot that. It's a screenshot that Chris took as we were. Yeah, Chris took those as we were playing on Monday. It's not actually there, but I'm sure if you go there, you might be able to see one. It's it's a good one to check out. Chris, how you doing, my love? What you been up to?
Oh, not much. I've been running about doing lots of boring worky stuff. I also went out to cinema this weekend. The local cinema are doing lots of action movie reruns at the moment.
Right.
So they've got like a whole action movie season. So Saturday night went out and went to see the original Speed with Keanu Reeves on the big screen. Yeah, it's one of those ones. I like when they do these retrospective type things because it's tons of films that I've never had the chance to see on the big screen. So yeah, I went along to see that. Had a really good time at that and a few drinks and stuff. Sunday was the usual radio nonsense and bits and pieces. So doing all that. In game, what have I been up to in game? I have attempted to take part in Thargoids stuff. I have not been over at Oya, but I was doing some sort of rescue missions and bits and pieces nearby because I was waiting for all the right equipment to arrive at all the right places.
Right.
And then and then the sort of Thargoid tick happened, and suddenly everything that I'd arranged to be where I was, well, I was no longer there, they were no longer there, and I was on a rescue ship a lot further away from everything than I wanted to be. And I was like, great. Because if there's one thing that my AX ship does not do very well, it's travel. So it then takes me half an hour to get anywhere useful, and then my game time is done. So my effort in the Thargoid War this week has been slightly hampered. So I'm sorry, everyone, that Oya is not going down as fast as you hope. It's all my fault for slacking off.
That sounds accurate. That sounds completely accurate.
Yeah. I'll take the blame for that one. I'll take the blame for that one. What have you been up to this week, pal?
Me, oh gosh, what have I been up to? Not a huge amount. I've been, I decided to reinstall XCOM as my comfort game. I decided to reinstall XCOM 2. I fucking love XCOM 2, and I've only ever dipped into the world of mods with XCOM 2 ever so slightly occasionally here and there, and I opened up the community workshop and looked for like community collections, and I just typed it in. I typed in Mass Effect to see if there were any. So I'm playing a full game of XCOM with Gareth Vicarian. And, lots of other characters. Literally all of the characters from Mass Effect are in XCOM now. It's a lot of fun, but I'm very acutely aware how bad I am at XCOM, to the extent that I'm like, Claire, why are you playing on Veteran? Because you're going to kill all of them, and I really don't want you to do that. So I've been sort of like playing and plodding along with that. It's a lot of fun. I love XCOM. It's so good. It's such a fun game. So yeah, I've been having a bit of fun with that. Playing some other games. I started Horizon Zero Dawn today.
Oh, is this your new big story game?
This is a new big story game. It's Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West has relatively recently come out on PC, and that is instantly on my next playlist after just playing one day of Horizon Zero Dawn. It is nothing like I expected it to be. I've managed to again stay pretty spoiler free for all games, like all of the games, barely looking at a description of it or anything along those lines. It plays a little bit like Far Cry 3 specifically, which is another one of my favorite games of all time. So that's really good. So really, really happy with my choices in certain games, and the story, I'm already invested in the story of it. So that's cool. As far as like elite stuff is concerned, we've been doing anti-Thargoid stuff. I did a little bit at Oya last week and went, this ain't going down particularly quickly, and I don't want to do author sampling, so I buggered off, and we went to start on Haddad on some of the invasion systems in Haddad, and that's where we were doing the Thargoid stuff on Monday. So that was really fun.
Is this Haddad? It's all Homburger's fault, Haddad.
It's all Homburger's fault, Haddad. You're absolutely correct. Yeah.
Also, I am seeing a pattern here. I think all three of us did some combat at Oya and then decided it wasn't happening and buggered off. I think I know why it hasn't worked.
So we are all the problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I follow the orders. I like I know we have it in the Lave Discord. We have it in I have it in my Discord as well. We have I have the post of disaster evacuation services orders and the AXI orders like filtered over onto a channel on my Discord, because it just for me it makes sense for something where I can just go and look and see what they've got. And even the messages from them were so sort of like deflated, and I was just like, I hear you, and I just can't be in that position where I'm going to go and try and kill authors and do all of this, because I don't think I'm good enough to do it without them jumping out, and I'm just going to get frustrated at it, or I'm going to get frustrated at my hands not working properly, or any number of those different things that I'm just not dexterous enough to do. What I can do is I can go and take my Corvette and I can press buttons looking at an interceptor which doesn't have a swarm around it because there's a gravity, because the planet's got gravity, and really enjoy myself and still feel like I'm contributing some way. But there just wasn't anything. It didn't feel like anything that I could contribute to with. Oh yeah, so that's why why I moved. Yeah, Ben.
I'm just wondering, actually, get my tongue working for Christ's sake. Are there any rescue the station kind of missions and things like that
on invasion systems? Any invasion systems, I believe, and alert systems, if they have stations you can rescue people from.
Yeah,
the missions work. I don't know how productive they are in terms of how effective they are, but it is a thing that you can do. It depends.
Yeah, and basically I'm thinking, what things can I possibly do? Yeah, and I'm like you. It's like, well, I know I can do that. I can get in and out of the station with my bus.
Yeah.
And I can drop things off. I can do that.
Yeah, just make sure you've got an ECM on you if you're doing that, because of the as soon as you pick up passengers, Sives will be after you.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
But it's literally just sometimes as you leave the station, and then also when you get if you get hyperdicted on the way.
Oh wow! I hadn't thought of that. Those rescue missions have changed now, then, so that Sides are literally grabbing you on the way out of the station.
It's really fun. It's an added dimension that is genuinely really fun, because all it is, like ECM, you can assign to a specific button, so it's not like you're having to switch through different fire groups quickly or anything like that. It's just a button hold, a button press, and then you can take it out. And I knock on wood, I'm pretty consistent with it.
I might go and do that, because I still haven't tried the ECM, and I was watching you on stream, and I might go and do that. That sounds quite fun.
There's something quite satisfying about it as well, like a big sort of like up yours to the Thargs as you manage to get away with these people who need rescuing.
Yeah, but so I enjoy it. I can do things like that, and I can join in killing scouts above bases and things like that. And if there's a team of people, I could maybe even kill mummy Thargs as well. But I can't solo mummy Thargs. So I'm trying to think of things I can do that will be productive. That doesn't feel like I'm just completely wasting my time.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though, isn't it? Where you're just sort of like, I want to help, but like it's 100% a skill issue with me. I 100%. Well, 80% skill, 20%. My hands don't fucking work anymore. So it's like trying to find that balance and make it feel like I am contributing. Alec.
Yeah, I just wanted to cycle back because I forgot something I did, which I found intriguing. I went back to HIP 22460, where it all began, because I've now got my cold running Maelstrom ship, and I thought, I never managed to get all the logs because I kept getting chased off by Thargoids, but now I can just sit there in my cold running ship and get my logs. Doesn't work. The Thargoids around HIP 22460 are a different breed who aren't fooled by your cool ship and still come after you and make it very difficult to get the logs. I thought that was intriguing.
Cheeky buggers.
I feel like the Thargoids around the Titan are a little bit like that as well, because I can be at 0% and they're still shooting at me. So I don't know.
Very much so in HIP 22460. Being below 20% made fuck all difference.
Brilliant. Okay. Shall we see what the devs have said this week?
Go for it.
Cool. Devs said something even as recently as today. We've got an update coming tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woo! We've got an update coming tomorrow. And I'd just like to say right now, before we start going into it, I don't think it's ever been more imperative that we back up our keybinds before we do this one. Just saying.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
It's very important. Just please, I know full damn well. I'm saying this out loud. I know full damn well. I ain't logging into Elite or finding that keybinds file. It's not happening. But folks, do as I say, not as I do, and please back up your keybinds.
Yeah, they've moved from a 6-bit number to a 7-bit number for the number of controls. So who knows? It's Y2K all over again.
Oh no, I might actually do
I will
it.
include the path for you lot. I'll be nice.
Yeah, it's not even that. I've got it saved. It's a command. I can open up my chatbot and do the command for it, and I still probably will not do it. Yeah, so we've got a update coming which has got the new rating C frameshift drive modules that will be available, which will be found at a number of outfitting services, especially in more technologically advanced markets, whatever that means. And these will introduce a new functionality, Super Cruise Overcharge, with a known issue that Super Cruise Overcharge audio is missing from some ships. What's funny, Chris?
Oh, I love a win. I love a win, and it's like, surprise everyone, you're getting Super Cruise Overcharge tomorrow. But by the way, we've not put the audio in for some certain stuff. I was like, no, come on, you've got a win here. You've got a win. We're getting new Super Cruise stuff.
We don't even know what it is. Yeah, I think the general consensus is maybe some kind of Super Cruise boost.
Yeah,
maybe
something just in time for her dad to get into there quicker, or like of getting from point A to B quicker, so that you're not interdicted so many times.
Your loop of shame will be even further.
My loop of shame will be even faster.
Our top speed in Super Cruise is quite high. It's 2001 times the speed of light. So I'm guessing it's just a better acceleration, which would be very cool, actually.
Mm.
I love the idea of being able to accelerate up to, 100 times the speed of light quickly. I think that'd be amazing.
I mean, you want it to look like Star Wars light speed, don't you? Where like the lines coming across the screen and you go boom, into the distance. That's what I want. That's what I want.
What happens if there are no visuals that run alongside it? It feels like it would be super remiss of them to not have some kind of visual. And I don't mean just a flashing up on the screen Super Cruise. Super Cruise boost,
you
Cruise
do want
Overcharge
the stars to
active.
stretch out into lines, don't you? That would be quite.
I really
sweet,
do.
Oh, we've got that really nice sort of Super Cruise music. You know, like the orchestral stuff that builds in the background when you do Super Cruise. I'm thinking when you overdrive, we get drum and bass.
Bit of underworld.
The wheeze. I just
like the beat drops and suddenly whoosh. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's the audio that's missing. They're waiting to put the drum and bass in.
We've got the nose button as well on the dashboard that we're going to have.
Yes, that's what we want. Big exhaust vents just like pop out from the side now. Yes.
No.
Okay, I'm not getting that. Sorry, but yes, back to your sensible suggestions.
Let's mod it. Let's mod it in. We can do it. We have the technology. No, we don't. How hard can it be, Frontier?
Press the fix it button. It'll be fine.
Okay.
It does seem to confirm that this new frameshift drive that we've been speculating about is probably not tied to the Python Mark II then.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah. Although it does still leave us completely in the dark as to what the hell the new feature of the Mark II is. We're back to square one on that, but never mind.
It gets a Class A Super Hyper Cruise drive.
Do we think? Remember on Unlocked, like a couple of weeks back, they were talking about these midpoint smaller updates. We'll probably see ships go in as well. Do we think there's a Python hidden in here somewhere in this update?
I think they'd announce it, wouldn't they?
I don't know that they would, especially if it's not going to be something that's available straight away. And like maybe if it's something that's going to be available in a few days' time, or maybe next week or something like that. The opportunity to just like
sneak it in there.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Well, there's a relatively fair amount of stuff on this on the patch notes, which we've had a day early, which is
Yeah,
unheard of.
It's a proper patch.
Yeah. So what are
I
we
suppose we
with?
should
4 hours
thank
of
you for-
downtime?
I
Yeah,
did read
8
that
till
somewhere.
12.
Yeah.
8 till 12, yeah. 4 hours of downtime for
Haven't
this.
given a size, have they? No.
No, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to shimmy in a Python Mark II in there somewhere.
No,
go ahead.
that would potentially make sense that they could fit it into an update like this, or considering how sort of short notice this update has been, like an 18.0 free coming soon. In brackets wouldn't surprise me either, because it was only recently that we completed the CG for this new Super Cruise module, so the new FSD. So in that case, it wouldn't surprise me if we got some other sort of CG possibly for to allow a speedier production of the new Python.
Counterpoint to that, and we love a counterpoint here. Counterpoint to that, there might be the fact that the CG started over 2 weeks ago, and the qualifying or the completion was like handing in 2 or something stupid like that. So it 2 weeks ago, Frontier knew in 2 weeks' time the CG was going to complete. So, I mean, this could have easily have been something that they could have been working towards for a long time, and they've just given us a 2-week countdown for it, and we didn't even know because we were too busy. There were 4,000 of us being too busy dropping off those Titan drive components after waiting in the Titan Carnage for a good 45 minutes until they found one, or finding it straight away, Cappy. I'm not bitter about that at all in the slightest. Is there anything else on these on the notes that you've seen that you would like to draw attention to, or have been interesting to you?
I mean, the fix for the 32 button limit is somewhat unprecedented. The bug tracker issue ID is in 4 digits, which is it's like issue number 1700, and I'm pretty sure that that's a reissue of an issue that was even older and got expired. But even the issue that they've pointed at us was originally reported in 2019. That's a 5-year-old bug.
I just feel like it's
hurrah.
That's great for that very small amount of
it means fuck all to me.
Yeah, me too.
But except that I don't have to hear people bleating constantly about there's only 32
you see, I just don't listen to those people. That's my problem.
I'm aware it's a big deal for some people. Let's put it like that. Although it makes a difference to me.
Are there enough keybinds for that many buttons?
Probably, I don't know.
That's a good question.
That was.
There's going to be more than enough, I think, for that.
Well, you can double, can't you? I guess so. You can have like two
256.
Yeah. So you
I mean, they've
have
doubled, and then to be on the really safe side, they've doubled again. So it was 32, and they've gone. Somebody's gone. Let's double it then, and then somebody else has gone. Do you know what? Let's quadruple it.
Yeah.
Someone's going to build a really cool looking cockpit dashboard kind of thing out of this, aren't they? It's going to look awesome.
People are already doing that, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that sort of sim rig that we saw at ECM last year, with tons of panels and buttons and stuff on it.
You've half made me want to have a look at the XML file for the bindings now and count the number of actual bindings in it, but I won't.
During the commercial break, Alec will be sitting there counting everyone.
I can
stand by. I've got it open.
No, I don't do it.
Go. But yeah, no, it's 1, 2,
1, 2.
Make sure you've got your shoes and socks off before you start as well, so that you can get to
grab an extra abacus, Ben. You might need it.
I quite like the thing that popped out to me was the Kovas line, the fix repair limpet failed message getting spammed all over the place. I like that fix. You know, when you're in a combat zone and you're getting the messages all the time going, limpet failed, and you're like, I didn't even know someone had sent me a limpet.
So AIs are AIs. I didn't even know that was what it was.
That was like for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's a useful one, because it was like when because they are trying to repair each other nearby, but you're getting the message saying it's failed, and that's
decontamination limpet failed. Decontamination limpet failed. I'm in the fucking hangar. What do you want to decontaminate?
What more do you want me to do? Just all these limpets crashing against the pad and exploding on impact, trying to make sure. Why will no one take my limpets?
There's also on here minor fixes to night vision while in Titan's inner cloud. So they have been looking at the night vision, Alex.
I know. I had a minor heart failure when I read that. I was expecting a massive backlash on the forums, but it's all right. They haven't fixed it.
It's just minor fixes.
It's only around the periphery.
Right, Alec.
Yes.
Including secondary toggly things.
Yes.
There are 838 potential keybinds.
No, there are not. You are a liar.
I mean, I could imagine it.
I mean, I can.
Yes,
you've got mouse reset, mouse. Oh no, that's not one. Mouse reset. Mouse block decay has a key.
We're not reading them all. We're not reading. You don't. No, read them all out.
But you're calling me a liar, so.
Oh, that's.
This is wow. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few.
So we're still not going to be able to keybind everything then. I think this is ridiculous. Let's get the ticket in now. We need more buttons.
We need at least many more buttons.
1,024.
We need 1,224. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Another two factors there.
Or you can just fucking double up and be done with it. Okay.
On the safe side, just use all the bits and make it 65,536 buttons and be done with it.
Or not. Or maybe not, just like a suggestion. Ben, you were talking about something being missing. Have we covered that, or?
Yeah, it's just something that I was, when I was doing the anti-Oya stuff that I was looking for, I'm still getting that bug where you're trying to play with other people and the Titan just keeps bugging out through various things, like like the pineapple doesn't come out, or the the heat vents just won't open for us, and that was so frustrating that even after all this time we're still having those issues.
Right. So there is a note that says performance improvements during multiplayer scenarios when the transition into meltdown happens after the core has been destroyed for the final heart.
Yeah, so that's the blue thing. That's not trying to do this.
That's meltdown though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that just falls under the general performance issues which they weren't going to include in patch notes anymore.
Maybe. I mean,
maybe potentially.
I hope it's been dealt with, but it's such a big issue that basically it's meaning if you're wanting to play with people, you've got to play in a private group and keep resetting your instance even then.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about appalling migraine-inducing shadow flickering being fixed either, but
and that's another one of those ones where it's like a general performance thing. I'd really like to see the shadow flickering gone, but
there's UI. What was it saying? Fixed target UI flickering when
I saw the word flicker.
But,
there's very much shadow.
Christ, sorry, I read launch tube, but I just read lube.
Okay, cool.
The next two words were membrane and residue, for Christ's sake.
Great, cool, good. Okay, shall we find out what the community has been up to?
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate? Alec!
Community have been busy. There's a cool video which somebody else put in, but I watched it today, called Happy Birthday, Commander Jameson, which it's nice. It sort of finishes on Elite Dangerous, but it's basically a history from original Elite through to Frontier and First Encounters and an Oolite, and it's quite a nice charted history of Elite. It started out, and I thought it was going to be about Elite Dangerous. I kind of hadn't read it properly, and and the guy was narrating and talking about how fantastic Elite was, and then all the visuals. I don't know what game. I don't know what game the visuals were from in the first 2 minutes of the video. But I was thinking, why isn't he using any of the visuals from Elite when he's talking about it so much? But then I got it, and he was building up to the big bit of the video, which was doing the history. It's good. Yes. The stupid, ridiculous 100 Elite Dangerous screenshots trend has continued apace. I now have 28 100 best Elite Dangerous screenshots slideshow videos in my playlist. I've watched every single one of them, so I have looked at 2,800 fantastic screenshots so far. And I just wanted to shout out the names. I'm not going to start picking them. They're all brilliant in different ways. But new entries from Koenaman02, Commander Starshine, Commander Grylor, Dan K, RPG Emma B, Old Man Paxus YT, and Harlock Dent. Keep them coming. I love these slideshows. They're great.
I might see if I can make one. I don't have 100. I'm sure I don't have 100 screenshots, but I will go and I will take 100 screenshots of the same thing.
Some people have. A few people have said I've only got about 50, but I've made one anyway. It's fine. I mean, don't know. Yeah, they're good. I really enjoy them. What I like. There's so many different styles, but what I really like are the ones where there's a few where I've sat down and gone, here we go, another 100 screenshots. Sure, this will be lovely. And then I keep having to hit pause because you see a screenshot and it's like, hang on, what the hell am I looking at there? There was one today with it was the top of a spire, the very, very, very top of a spire and there was a commander on top of one of the very pointy bits right at the top. And I've seen people climb the spire, and I was thinking, okay, that's cool. And then I looked more closely, and there was a commander on the top of every single one of the pointy bits. So it was a coordinated 8-man climb of the spire, and then a screenshot of everybody at the top. And it was like, that's a good screenshot.
Sounds bonkers.
Yeah,
I love
those. There's quite a few like that where you pause it and think, hang on a minute, what? Anyway, it's a great video from TJ Peck called There Be Titans, an Elite Dangerous cinematic video. And it's another kind of history storytelling thing. It's got this nice voiceover that reminds me of Leonard Nimoy a bit, but it's a really good kind of dramatic brief rise of the Titan, brief rise of the kind of Thargoid War and what's how it all came to be. And then finishing off with the reveal of the Titans, and concludes with the Titan blowing up. It's a great little cinematic. Really enjoyed that. Next video, very important video that I wanted to shout out. I've really enjoyed Loot and Grind's videos. They're very chilled and calm, and he's made another lovely one called How Elite Dangerous Helps Me Cope with Depression. And it's a nice sort of 4-minute, I guess, video. Just talks about how he has suffered with depression and how he finds Elite extremely therapeutic. What I liked about it, and I was sort of reflecting on this, and I sort of see it now with all Loot and Grind's videos, is that he very much sings the praises of some pretty simple gameplay, and I don't use that derogatively. I mean, there's a lot of stuff at the moment about all these things you can do with Elite, where you get a heat sick launcher and then you have to stay cool under 20%, and then you have to do a torpedo and you shoot 6 torpedoes and you fly around the back, and then you have to have multi-cannons, and it's all very tense and complex and actually quite stressful when I think about it. And I like that Loot and Grind is singing the praises of just go and do some mining, and that's cool too. There's no need to do these complex, stressful things. It's equally valid to just go and do some nice mining and chill out, and I love that. Some good comments as well on that from other people that are equally coping with depression and find Elite very therapeutic. So good stuff. We had another video, I think today actually, or yesterday, from Deturi's Elite. I quite like this one too, because it's not, he's done these guides, And this was a guy, well, it was about exobiology, but he basically doesn't know how to do it. So it's a very different take where he basically launches into the game to do some exobiology without a clue what to do and without using any third-party lookups, basically to decide whether or not he then needs to go and make a guide on how to do exobiology. And he did all right. He found a plant and he scanned it, but his conclusion was that he does need to make a guide on how to do exobiology properly. But it was quite fun to see him just bumbling around and trying to figure something out for a change. It's quite funny.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. This is old news, but everyone else has shouted it out, and we just wanted to include our shout out. Elite Dangerous.fr, the French adventure people, have done their own adventure creator. I haven't sat down and given it a really good go yet, but it looks bloody brilliant. It's like a really nicely designed sort of step-by-step website UI for filling in all the bits that you need to make your own adventure. And there's also an article on their website, How to Write an Adventure, that I need to sit down and read.
Yeah, I've just had a quick look at it now. It looks really, it's really good.
It's slick. It's really professionally done.
They're
It's
so
fantastic.
good at what they do, man. I'm big fan.
Yeah. Really impressive stuff. Yeah, I definitely want to make one. And I think the idea is that you can create your own adventure, and I don't quite know whether you can share it with people via a link, but they will kind of vet it, which is fine for quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if the player created adventures meet, and I assume they'll give you feedback and help you make it good enough if it isn't good enough, and then they will add them to their roster. So hopefully we'll see lots of new adventures as and when people get around to doing it. Yes, I mentioned I sort of met up with Razafrag on Saturday from ED Copilot, and there was just a brief reminder that he's trying to promote the time trial stuff because it hasn't really taken off the way he and I and a few others sort of thought it might. There's 20 odd races, there's leaderboards, and each leaderboard has got 4 or 5 runs on it, I suppose, but we did kind of think it might really take off. Anyway, so he's doing a promotion before, so anyone who completes any of the ED Copilot time trials, just got to do one, and you don't have to do well, before the end of this month, the end of April, your name gets thrown into a prize draw, and the winner will earn 1 billion credits. And as of now, only 8 people have currently done a time trial since this was announced. So you've got a pretty damn good chance of earning 1 billion credits if you give one of these time trials a go.
Nice.
And last is, I've saved the big one to last. I'm very excited about this. So ages ago, I mentioned that Auraxis Animus had launched a video contest for Elite Dangerous called, I think he made a video called We Are Elite, and then he launched a video contest to make your own We Are Elite, kind of what does elite mean to you, do a little story. I think he sort of encouraged people not to just do in-cockpit footage, but to try and include lots of exterior footage and stuff and make a fun video. And the winners have been announced. And I really love video contests. Frontier used to do them occasionally, and people are super creative, and it's lovely to see a whole bunch of really quite different videos all sort of suddenly appear together. So we'll include in the show notes, there's a full playlist. I think there weren't hundreds. I think there was about 8 or 9. I think a couple were a little bit too old to qualify. But the winners are in reverse order. In third place was a beautiful video from Commander Nugstar called Journey. In second place, I was going to say equally, but it's in second place. So slightly more beautiful video from Riley Angel called Little Person. I just fucking adore this little video. Maybe we'll talk about these in a minute. And the winner, I can't really argue with this. We had already seen it, but it was made for this competition, and it was Protocops with his incredible video making it, and his memory reboot video that kind of started with the old guy and the VHS kind of. Mm-hmm. Did you guys see any of these?
Yeah. I've definitely watched the top 3.
Yeah, I've seen the top 3 as well.
I think the top 3 are incredibly deserved. I love Protocops' work. Absolutely adore it. I will.
Were you torn? Because I did love Little Person as well. But
so
go on, because I've got reasons why I think it's
I
fine
know
for
for me, I know I have actual like visceral emotions about Protocops' work in comparison to in comparison to a lot of the stuff that's being created by people. I loved Little Person for its simplicity.
Yeah.
And for how sort of like stripped back it was. I thought it was beautiful. I think the music did a lot of heavy lifting with it.
That's the thing. I'm a sucker for music, and I'd never heard that song before. I'm a complete sucker for it, and I fell for it, and then I thought, hang on a minute, and sort of watched it again, trying to ignore the the tears that were welling up as I was
the music's incredible. I really, really like it. I really, really like the track. I hadn't heard the track before, so that was really cool. I just think Protocops' visuals and the way that Protocops puts the visuals to the soundtrack and encompasses everything, I genuinely believe puts them so much on such a higher standard than some.
There's a lot going on in that video. I mean, you think it's that fast cut style that they use, but when you look beyond that, there's a lot going on.
There's so much, yeah,
really good, really good. So yeah, bravo to the winners and the runners up, because there's some terrific videos. And as I say, somebody's thanks, Claire. But there's the playlist is in the Twitch chat now, but we'll include the playlist in the show notes, and do go and look, because they're all lovely.
Yeah. Did Ben or Chris, did you have any favorites or any comments on these if you've watched them?
The only thing I'd like to check the original rules was, I felt like you commented that I felt a lot of the videos were picked up by absolutely bloody brilliant music.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I really, I like the phrase Claire used about, heavy lifting. It's interesting, isn't it? Let's not. I don't want to put that down, because
100% agreed.
There is a skill to choosing the right bit of music.
Oh,
when I make my videos, I'm not in the same league. I'm pretty lazy. I just film some in-game footage, speed it up, and slap a soundtrack on it. And but I feel like what lifts my
don't
videos.
Put down what you do, mate.
Okay, well, so I feel like what lifts the ones I'm really proud of is the music.
Yeah.
And choosing that music takes me way longer than making the video.
Yeah.
It's by far the hardest part. I spend bloody hours trying to find a decent bit of music that fits. And
I was watching I watch a lot of like long-standing creators on YouTube who've been doing it for years and years and years, talking about what works, what doesn't. And Tomska, who is will forever be one of my favorites. I used to play Counter-Strike with him like 20 odd years ago. He did a thing about you could literally film on a shaky mobile, but if the sound is crisp and if the sound does the thing that you want it to do, you will be forgiven for more difficult, for not the greatest visuals, but if the audio is spot on, that's what will make a video more so. And that's kind of a lot of things that I constantly think about when I'm looking at it. And I mean, Protocops does this amazing visuals, but the audio and the music that he puts along the outside of it is just great. And I found myself like you were saying, with picking music. And I know I spoke to Rhea about this quite a while ago. Like we both have a habit of just like scrolling through and listening to tracks on Epidemic Sound.
Right.
And I just look for like moods on Epidemic Sound, and I'll hear something and I'll favorite it, and I'm like, that's something that I know. Like, it goes into a list of tunes that I'm like, this is some kind of giant space epic, and should something happen that will justify that, holy shit, that's going to be amazing to run alongside it and those kind of things.
Is that like a pay or subscription
So
service?
you with Epidemic Sound is you pay like a monthly fee, and it gives you the licensing for the tunes that are played, and that's like, for me it's really worthwhile because it gives me all of my funny pop songs and the pop left songs, like the copy left songs that I play sometimes, and the a lot of the classical tracks and things when I'm not just constantly blasting the Mass Effect soundtrack, because I will get over it at some point and play something else, but it gives me the freedom to just leave that leave the music on. It's relatively cheap. I have a referral code, and I highly recommend them as a service. And if they're also really good, like if you get any copyright things, they are absolutely fucking on it as well. But you have to have the have the subscription with it. We used it for Flight Assist as well. I love them. They are good. Not Spawn, just referral. Yeah. Thanks, Alec.
Yeah, there's one. I was just going to say when I'm thinking about making videos, which are about, aside from music, doing the heavy lifting. There's another thing which I know it's not just in these, but occasionally, which, I mean, I can talk because I haven't done anything better, but it often seems like people have a fairly simple story, which is fine. Like going home, I'm heading back home, so they'll have some footage of the ship taking off and then heading up into the atmosphere and then flying, and that's all lovely. And it'll finish with them landing, and that's lovely. But it often seems the case that in between, people have a library of all sorts of lovely footage they've got of exploding the Titan and core mining and activating a Thargoid base, and all these are kind of included. You're thinking, what's this got to do with the story? I'm lost now. I thought we were going home. Why are we blowing up Titans and mining and activating Thargoid bases? And I sort of just occasionally think people should either not try and throw so much into them, or I don't know, think more carefully about the middle bit and try and have a reason for why all these other things are happening as well.
Yeah.
If you're doing it as a narrative, sort of have it make a bit of sense in there. I mean, sometimes though, it will be the case that you're sitting on this piece of beautiful looking footage and you're like, I'm going to fit that in something at some point. I'm going to fit that in something at some point. And you're like, okay, now's my time.
Maybe
this is what I did on my travels.
The same video. You never know.
I've
definitely not done that before. That Titan exploding.
Anyway,
this is my footage.
Yeah.
And they're all better than what I can do. So
100%,
I'm
absolutely.
not complaining. Brilliant. Well done, everyone.
Cool. So if you've got a community event taking place soon and you would like for us to talk about it and shout it across the airwaves, please tweet us at Lave Radio, or you can email info@laveradio.com, or speak to Alec or me or anyone else, and good stuff. I would very much like to run a couple of adverts, and when we come back, we will talk about the in-game events.
Oi, how you doing, my brother? So you run some data and you left your little sidey and you're starting to think about maybe a ship that can punch a little bit harder. Well, the Killback, the one with the little flappy wings, is just what the doctor ordered. It is multi-crew enabled and is the smallest ship with a fighter bay, so you can point and they will do your bidding. Ha! It's got 3 utility mounts, 2 small and 2 medium hard points, plus a whole batch of compartments. So if you want a bit of fun, grab a Killback, my son.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
Choose life, choose a ship, choose a career, choose a cargo, choose a fucking big ship, choose palladium, gold and electrical tin openers. Choose good health, low cholesterol and ship insurance, choose fixed interest loan repayments, choose a space station, choose your friends. Choose leisure wear and matching luggage, choose a paint job and hire purchase in a range of fucking colours. Choose decals, exploration and wondering where the f*** you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting in that chair, running mind-numbing, spirit-crushing trade routes, stuffing f***ing junk food in your mouth. And choose rotting away at the end of it all, pissing your last in the void with no one out there to hear you bury or do anything as you drift away in cold space. Until some f***er comes along to steal your ship, your cargo and your clothes, leaving your bones floating out in space. Choose your future. Choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? I choose not to choose life. I chose something else. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you've got onion head?
And we're back. So what's been going on in game? What happened this week? Well, 2 things happened on the 4th of April. The prototype frameshift drive, almost production ready, competitor skeptical. It was basically saying that you managed to deliver the 2 that we needed for the CG to complete.
And Sirius being all snooty about it.
Yeah.
If Achilles can produce something other than words, we'll be happy.
But it's like Sirius going, bet lads, you're not going to be able to do this. We've monopolized this market for what 10 years. We are the one creator of this.
Sirius going to look stupid tomorrow unless this thing blows up in our faces.
Watch it blow up in our faces.
That'd be hilarious.
Watch it not do what we want it to do.
It's going to be a Super Cruise boost, but it's going to go backwards.
Whoops, I had the silly thing in reverse.
Oh, man. Absolutely. I am completely down for that happening. And then also a little bit later, Titan, deploys a surprise fleet of Orthros vessels. The Titan known as has appears to have deployed a large fleet of Orthros vessels into star systems farther from their own territory, breaking expected behavior, which was a bit contentious for some people who took it as a personal insult. I noticed some people like very much raging about it, but it's a
How do you guys feel about it? What was your take on it when it happened?
I'd love to talk about this with a main discussion. If I'm completely honest,
all right,
I'd love to get your ideas on that. But yeah, it was a big thing. It was a surprise, and it threw everything into disarray. So that's our our in-game events. Somewhat quiet again in Galnet over the course of the last week. Unfortunately, somehow Pete is managing to squeeze out a Galnet News Digest for us today. But yeah.
No, I wonder, we might get a little flurry of stuff with the update tomorrow.
We might do.
If they've managed to tweak buttons and push stuff into game, depending, then we might get a little bit more Galnet. Let's see.
You can't get much less, can you? Let's be honest.
I mean, we have had less, but let's not poke.
It's funny, isn't it? There are still loose ends. There's still all these.
There really are.
There's still all these people that have been released back into society, and it's like, is that really going to fizzle out? Surely not. Surely not.
They're doing great, Alec. They're doing great. They're having a fantastic time.
We have the Thargoids sleeper agents. We have Caleb Wycherley's Guardian mech suit. We have whatever's going on with Sojourner, Aegis woman whose name I can never remember, and Aidan Tanner. With all of those, just like I'd love to see resolutions for all of that. But when we see it, fingers crossed. Let's try and remain optimistic for it. Hey, guess what, gang?
What?
We've only got a bloody store alert. Now, before you run off to the store to look at all of the new ship skins that are currently available, it's not the ship skins. Sorry to disappoint. There is a Steam sale on all Frontier games at the moment. I don't know how much longer it's going on for, but as of recording, it is still active. You can get it's a Frontier publisher sale up to 90% off games. So Stranded Alien Dawn, Jurassic World Evolution 2, F1 Manager 2023, Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, Realms of Ruin, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, and Elite Dangerous. I think you can get like Elite Dangerous and Odyssey for less than 15 quid at the moment.
Bargain.
Stunning. Absolutely crack-a-lacking bonkers is what it is. So yeah, if you can handle having an extra Steam account and you want another Elite on Steam, you can do so by heading over to that publisher sale. Also, just a personal recommendation, like Planet Zoo's really fun, as is Stranded Alien Dawn. If you're into those kind of games, they're really good. I liked Realms of Ruin as well. It's been nominated for a BAFTA, don't you know? And that's on Thursday. Yeah.
Realms of Ruin is going 80% off at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's going for it's normally 50 quid. It's going for a tenner.
Oh, I'm definitely tempted to give that a try. I'm with you, Psyche, on Stranded Alien Dawn and Planet Zoo. They are both ridiculously addictive games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You start sort of building your zoo and doing your little missions, and suddenly 4 hours have passed and you've done nothing that you were supposed to be doing, but you do have a cracking looking zoo.
Deliverers Mars isn't on there. No, it doesn't look like it. It might be. Let me just click on Frontier. It is 65% off.
Wait,
yes, only
£8.74 for Deliverers Mars. freaking get it. Freaking get it. It's so good. I would recommend like having a look through it and say, oh, Far Changing Tides is $5.24. That is definitely worth it for that price. Yeah, there's some brilliant games that Frontier have like made or been involved in, and you may have seen one during Frontier Unlocked, or you may have seen it had you not been so busy typing in the chat about how irate you are and how there are 12,000 people here only to see Elite Dangerous. But there's some other games that you could have checked out while you were moaning about that. That is specifically aimed at a very small amount of people. I'm very aware that not everyone's like that. Yeah, there's that. What I would really like to do is just jump into another ad break really quickly, and then we will come back with our main discussion.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
And we're back. Yeah, so it was as we so clearly hinted earlier, Titanoia deployed a surprise fleet of Orthrus vessels. I think it was 30 systems that went into alert. I don't think any were expected. By the reactions from some people, I don't think any were expected. How are we feeling? What's the general feeling about that from y'all? I'll start with Alec.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose really mixed. I mean, initially, okay, so the story didn't come out, so there was 8 hours, I suppose, where the observed behaviour was that suddenly the thing that had never, a thing that had never happened before, suddenly. There's been a lot of talk on the forums and things about rules, and the rules being broken. And I suppose the thing with Elite is it's a game that doesn't tell you how things work. It, as Arthur's always saying, it lets you find out. It lets you work it out yourself. So a lot of people have spent an awful amount of time and effort working out how the Thargoid War rules work, what happens and what never happens, and poured an awful lot of effort and kind of planning around that into the Oya assault. Had it all worked out, there was the whole thing of gathering Meccan and the AXI's initiative to gather tissue samples, and all based on what we knew about the rules, and then kind of overnight the rules changed. and suddenly Oya did something that had never been done before. So on the one hand, I get the annoyance. That's a bit okay. The word disrespectful was banded around. I get it. On the other hand, of time, disrespectful of people's time and effort in the planning that's gone into basing what they're going to do on the rules that we've worked out, and then to just suddenly throw the rules out. But on the other hand, we've also been talking on the show every week about are the Titans really just going to sit there and take it? And so equally, from a law perspective, it's cool that no, they're not. They're going to do something else. And I suppose it depends where your head's at. And if your head's in game and in law, and you're thinking of these as an alien species, and of course there are no rules, then it's very cool. But if you're thinking of it from a purely sort of logistical, herding thousands of players in hundreds of different discords to do the right thing, then I suppose I'd be curious to know how they feel about it now the dust has settled, I suppose. And then, of course, the Galnet came out 8 hours later and kind of not exactly put egg on people's faces, but said, oh no, it was deliberate. It's not just a stupid bug. It was planned. It was intentional. Yeah, I don't know. What do others think? I'm mixed on it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I got the initial wave was very reactionary to what had happened. It was very much like, we're going to show them that we can't stand for that, and we're going to have to go and bomb the heck out of Oya. And I get it, because I was like, yeah, let's go and bomb the heck out of Oya. But it became incredibly apparent, and we all said this earlier, it became incredibly apparent that the 0.02% of a single heart that we were doing per hour wasn't going to cut it. And I feel like there was definitely from the various groups that send out the instructions, there was definitely like that knee-jerk reaction. Well, if they're going to do that, fuck them. We're just going to go straight for Oya and concentrate on that right now. And we maybe lost a little bit of time in our in the approach in just doing that. Well, we lost almost a whole day. It felt like any streamer I looked at on that first day were either going and doing the attacks, and then it started slowing down. And then certain streamers would go, and certain streamers who were capable of it would go, right, okay, so I'm going to take it on myself to go and kill some officers, because we know that works in alert systems. Or other folks were like, okay, we're just going to go and sample everything and that kind of thing. There were like a couple of days where I felt like I was a little bit in limbo with the game.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was a reasonable plan. To just go, okay, we need to go all out on Oya, because otherwise we're gonna, there's no way we can stop 30 alerts. So the only kind of place we're left in is to at least try and take down Oya before, because there's that new thing. It was in the previous release. Was it 18.1, or it might even be I think it was 18.01. But there was a change where when a Titan goes down, all the alerts that it's spawned just disappear effectively, rather than turning into invasion. So if we could get Oya down in the week, then those 30 alerts would just evaporate, which would have been super cool. And I really liked. I don't know if this is just me, but it felt a little bit like there was a slight bit of Frontier saying, no, this is the way you're supposed to play this game, and the community going, screw that. We're going to do it this way. We ain't playing by your rules. We're going to, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get you.
It's an interesting one, because I know that a lot of I know that a lot of what happens in the Thargoid war is essentially automated. You know what I mean? They set the seeds of the war, and then everything just sort of happens, and we have a bit of influence, and occasionally Frontier have turned the dials a little bit when they were initially tuning it, but once they tuned it, they've kind of put hands off. Occasionally, they've given the Thargoids something to fight back with, and occasionally they've given us something to fight back with. But they've not really been pushing out to different systems. You know, they've not been ticking boxes and going, right, next they get to invade here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
That's all been happening in a kind of automated way. So I wonder how much of this was anticipated and how much of this was the Thargoid war algorithm going, no, we're doing this.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if this is, you know, the article and what's come out is kind of a reaction going, oh, well, we weren't kind of expecting that to happen, but here's a quick, you know, and the Thargoids have done something unexpected.
Yeah. What's this
Article.
Titan panic response, a pre-coded thing?
Potentially, and it had a different. It had like a different reaction, because normally when systems go into alert, fleet carriers don't get pushed out either, or you don't get pushed out of the system. The behavior was very different as well, and comparably to other Titans where alerts happened, I think the behavior is sort of like there has to be a controlled system within a certain range for it to work. I've looked a little bit into it. It feels incredibly above my pay grade. I'm just a mere mercenary working on the ground doing the minimal amount that I can. But it's like the behavior. The behavior was shocking and incredibly different, and it did come as a huge shock to the groups who have dedicated a lot of time to this. And we're a year and a half into this fiasco now, and I get it. I get the feeling of slight. I wouldn't necessarily say disrespect. Disrespect feels a little bit extreme. I'm not going to lie, but I understand a feeling of disappointment and it like things not following the rules. I know I know when I saw it all happen, the first thing I said was, has anybody checked on Ian Doncaster? Is he doing okay? That kind of thing.
I suspect Ian's fine. I think he's loving it. He's just the analyst. He's just like he's not the one that spent 10,000 hours desperately trying
to. I mean, with this, so excuse the idiot here. So with this, we've got these new alert systems now because we focused on the type. Does that now mean that these alert systems are now going to spread out, and in fact our progress against that Titan is going to be even slower come Thursday because we've now got all these alert systems that are going to break out, are going to push to the next stage? Sorry, because presumably we're not going to be able to fight them all back now.
Not really, because we've managed to fight most of them back. Looking at DCOH, what is there? It just really depends what happens on Tharg's Day and how that works. Like, I'm looking at everything that's in alert at the moment. Most of it is showing as 100%.
Am I reading this right? On DCOH, is there only 2 alert systems for Oya?
No,
I'm reading it wrong. Okay.
No, I don't believe so. I think there were 30 that spawned. That was Oya, wasn't it? Yeah. So there were 30 that spawned. I'm seeing a few more than that with Oya. So yeah, I'm seeing 30. So, but they all, with the exception, there's one Cephi sector WO-A B3, which isn't showing at 100% for me, and there's the one with the Spire site in as well. So I think, God bless them, them being people who aren't me, who have managed to do the thing and taken it back. But what happens now on Thursday? Does Oya spaff out another 30? Because if it does, we are never going to win.
That is the problem, I suppose, is there's a sort of slightly weird anti-precedent now that because Oya was suddenly able to do this, you could almost throw your hands in the air and go, well, if it can do that, it can do anything. What's the point of trying to work out the rules? It can, might as well give up because it can do anything.
It summons another Titan. Yeah, I mean, I guess there is that potential. I do understand the frustration of, we think we know the game plan now, right? This has been very much signposted as the end game. This is the end of the Thargoid War. I think because of that, we've all sort of settled into our head of this is the mechanic now. We know exactly what we need to do, and a spanner has went in.
Yeah.
Whether that spanner was purposeful or not, I've got a bit of a question mark in my head about that. But it is a war. This is like what we've heard from Frontier quite a lot. It's what we've said on the show quite a lot. Is it's a war, and those things do not necessarily run on rails. It's you get these different changes. But at the same time, I can't discount anyone's frustration, especially with the amount of hours that are being put into fighting this back. I mean, this is the thing at the moment, and I get why people are keen to get through the Titans as quickly as possible.
But you also appreciate the fact that the Titans aren't just going to roll over and take it because of the fact that they will adapt to the environment that they are provided with. We've seen it before, especially during the Thargoid War. They brought out the glaives, they brought out the scythes, reactionary to the stuff that we were discovering as well. We were stealing, we were taking our people back, and the scythes started appearing to go, actually no, we've got those people now, finders keepers, we're having them. And it's been reactionary all the time, so it sort of stands to reason that there would be another reactionary thing that they do. However, if we get to Thursday now and there's another 30 alerts and it's still creeping down in the way that it is, our bets of Christmas, we didn't say which Christmas.
I was thinking exactly that. Yeah, and I was sort of thinking as well, just how I do kind of wonder how far you can push a player community. That's a little bit. I don't mean push exactly, but there will come a point where people will just go, I can't. This is impossible, and walk away. And that is a slippery slope, because the more that people that walk away, the less progress the people that are still into it are going to make, and it will just escalate until there's 50 people left who are really into this, and they won't have a hope in hell of getting anywhere.
And you really need that dedicated core as well. I mean, that the only reason that we're doing as well in the Thargoid War as we are is the fact that there are people that are paying attention to the mechanics and the systems and coordinating our efforts. Like this would not be possible without that, I would say. As much, we talk about third-party tools and how useful they are all the time. The fact that people are gathering these statistics, yes, there is, the different things that they've put into the Thargoid War map are really useful, but the coordination in the background to make sure that people aren't wasting efforts on places once they're completed, that they're fighting in the right zones at the right time, that we're all focusing on one place rather than all flying off in different directions. It is a lot of effort. And if you lose those core players that are doing that at the moment, then we're definitely going to struggle to fight back, unless they give us the anti-Titan nuke. That can just start firing one at one. Yeah,
that's the secret weapon that the Titan Mark II has. Can I just pass to Ben very quickly?
Yeah, so I mean, this is exactly what we've seen. It's like when Thargstay came and AXI were like, guys, fluff it, just push. And if you look at the stats on Citalara.fr, you can see we all tried to push, and you can see for the next 24 hours we're trying something. But then, by about lunchtime on the 5th, you can see the graph just basically trending to nothing.
Yeah.
And this is corresponding. I think it's fair to say that everybody here is a wee bit of a fan of Elite and like working with AXI and like trying to do their part. And if even we're giving up and going, nah, fuck that.
I think it's that we as human beings like to be rewarded for our efforts, and when you see something, it was 2 hours. I think we were playing on Friday or Thursday or whenever it was for like 2 to 3 hours, just playing on Oya, following what AXI had said and what the orders all had come through, the fuck it, let's just attack order. And it took 4 hours for it to go from 9% to 10% complete. And I think at that point I went, I don't know if I want to play Elite anymore right now. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and I 100% am behind Frontier changing up things a wee bit. I'm also 100% behind AXI going, what the fluff?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm also 100% about us going, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, I like the balance is there. The balance is there for those three things. Those like every single person or every single party in that is entirely justified in the actions that they take. The Thargoids are going to retaliate differently. That's just going to be something that happens. It is a pattern that we've seen. The Thargoids have a things start to happen, and the Thargoids go, oh, hang on, wait, we can do something new to retaliate against it. That new and unexpected. We can provide you with fucking glaives and scythes and other things like that, and those kind of things. We've had those different counters. We've come back with different counters. Beach bash bosh. We took down Taranis. We took down Legong, and Oya went, actually. Nah. I'm going to do something about this, and I'm going to make this more difficult for you. And it's justifiable. Doesn't stop every other party going, actually, no, I can't deal with this right now. I'm not going to spend my whole fucking week scanning authors with a 3% success rate, which is me personally.
Yeah. To me, this is basically how much do they want to have Frontier's finger on the button? We know that Frontier have a timetable. We know. Well, I choose to believe that Frontier have a plan.
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily. I don't know.
They can adjust things. We know this,
and we don't know necessarily that this is something that hasn't been planned all along. Yeah. We don't know that this isn't just something that was decided on, that once we get to 6 Titans left and it's starting to look like the 6th Titan might be vulnerable, then it's going to have this reactionary thing that has been coded in, and also all of the extra bits. So the alert pushing everything out, and meaning that Chris is half an hour away and all of that kind of stuff. Whether or not it's still whether or not it's the best choice for that to happen, I don't know. Alec?
Yeah, just thinking about whether it's Frontier's finger on the button or not. Of course, it sort of feels a bit like this Oya response could easily have been coded. But I also think, we're talking about possible burnout and player numbers slowing down, and how players react to, how will players react to this move. Predicting all of that, 12 months ago or whenever this code was written, and then setting it in motion, I sort of don't believe that either. They must have their eye and their finger on it a little bit, because you just can't possibly predict the numbers of player engagement, and how you set something in motion 12 months ago, and it's really like the machine's taking over. The algorithm at the heart of this is just going to go, right, deploy another 30, and the players have all buggered off, and the algorithm doesn't know that and just keeps pushing. And Frontier must have a finger on a slider as well, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of other players that we asked, we also, this was our question of the week as well. So what we did was we asked exactly the same thing, and we had some cool responses, starting with Apaphis, who said, I suspect the change was in response to the loss of 2 Titans, another form of defense. In a similar way, an interceptor puts up a shield or fires off a shutdown pulse while being attacked. I don't mind the change. It's just part of an ever-evolving war with the Thargoids.
Yep. Cool. Yep.
Which is great, and 100% agree.
Next, we have Homburger, who says, makes me wonder what the other 5 may have up their yellow Morwas names. Hopefully, we'll be both surprised and frustrated by each one. Yeah, that's a good point. Are there more things to come?
Yeah, the polite gentlemen don't ask Thargoids what they have in their yellow what's the names. Hang
on. No, wait. There was a funny. Wait. I thought about it, and then I was copying and pasting a name, and I forgot about it. Continue.
Silas Rezi. I suspect it's a basic adaptation of standard tactics. There's only so many tricks the Thargs have. We need to get the likes of Cannon on the case to find any correlations. Good word, correlations.
We are all partial to correlation. So Nicey G is saying maybe it's the start of a whole new way of fighting then. That or Frontier Development underestimated the XI. Probably second one though.
I don't know. There it is. I found it. It's a panic shield. It's the panic shield of the Titan. It's spaffing out 30 things. We're attacking it too quickly, so that's the panic shield. Job done. Yes. Cool. Mixelplix73 says Thog the Mighty, kudos to Ben, has thrown a natural 20 constitution, whereas Taranis and Legong both fluffed their rolls for luck and paid the price. Besides, Frontier might be a little behind with the next update, so need to push the game loop a little. I like that a lot.
I like the idea of it rolling. That's good. That's a good shout.
This one was just a little bit weaker.
Mark Gamer01 says, Johnny Thargoid finally realised that it wasn't just the internet going down at Tyrannus and Legon, and that they are in fact toast. As such, Johnny is bricking it, or possibly FDev are doing some handwavium to stall us a bit while coding the next bit of content.
I don't know.
To be fair, some of these responses will have been sent before today's announcement of the update, the pending update.
That's true. That's a very valid point.
So if you're listening to this and you're going, hang on, didn't they just talk about an update coming tomorrow earlier on? Don't worry, we did ask this question a few days before the recording.
I asked this question on a Sunday at some point during the 2 hours that Chris is doing his radio show. I haven't set time when I do this.
It's often when Psykit thinks about the Thargoid War the most.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
that
unrelated.
has to say something about your show, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Mad King Hester? What do you mean change tactics? It did what it was already doing, but turned it up a bit.
A bit?
A bit.
A bit. Yeah.
11.
Cool.
So Omnituans is saying it feels very god-handy to me. If Legon had thrown, say, 5 extra alerts after Tyrannus threw 0, then Oya threw 10 to 15, it would feel like an escalation on mechanics. Suddenly throwing 30 alerts feels like we have to slow the players down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair point, I guess.
Fairest of points. Commander Chirpy Vader says, I'd love to think it was an attempt at realism, having the Thargoids change tactics in response. However, it's probably to buy development time for an upcoming next step. Why not both? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Steve says, British bank holiday. That is the reason. There you go.
I just realised I gave you
Bank
2, Alec.
Do what?
I gave you 2 in a row. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's all right. I'm redoing it. It's fine.
All right.
It wasn't the British bank holiday, though. It wouldn't have made any difference.
Wasn't it Easter?
It was, but that wouldn't. Why would the Thargoids attack more on a British bank holiday? I'm confused.
I know what it is. It's because they've eaten too much chocolate and they've gone high.
Yeah, they had too much chocolate. We found their weakness.
The Thargoids are on a sugar high, and that's what's done it.
Yeah.
That tracks. That tracks. Commander Schnales? I'm going with Schnales. This seems to have caused some upset. Personally, for me, this feels more real. Surely, having lost 2 Titans, the Goids would try something different. Although deep in conspiracy land, my gut says that FDev needed to delay the destruction for some narrative they have cooking. Shame, though, I had a clear weekend.
Love that. I cleared everything to murder.
I will get my decal. I will get it this weekend. Darn it. Nope. Curses, Thargoid.
Commander Tobias von Brandt is saying, I think this feels more real and therefore more interesting than just repeating the same thing 6 more times. As I've said elsewhere, though, it's a tricky middle ground for Frontier development to find. On one side, there's boredom if it becomes too repetitive. On the other, there's frustration if they change the rules too much. Hopefully, they can keep it in the sweet spot. That said, props to Frontier development for what they've done with this endgame period of the war so far. It's been really enjoyable, and what they've pulled off... And what they've pulled off as live community-wide events is truly impressive.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 100%. I could not agree with you. Could not agree with you more, Tobias. That's an excellent comment. I really, really like that. And finally, Commander DeCamper says, I wonder if this is related to Arf saying, if the community gets all 8 Titans down. Perhaps it was always a plan to change tactics. And as we get closer to downing all 8, it will get harder. Changing tactics certainly makes things feel fresher. Thank you for all of your comments, because that's really cool. I wholeheartedly agree with most of that. I feel like it could be a little of column A and a little of column B, really, for everything.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
It's good though. It's good. We don't have a mostly clueless this week. Does anyone have a one that they want to throw in very quickly or not?
No.
Nah.
I'm still trying to find out whether there's any way of telling when you take a mission, a planetary mission, whether the place you're going to is going to be in the dark or the light. I don't think there is. I'm seeing less and less correlation these days. So Jury's still out. That's a very old, mostly clueless. Where I think we announced it was 180 degrees opposite from what it says, but it's not.
It isn't. No, it's
all over the place.
Blindfoldedly throwing a dartboard at this particular time.
Do you know what, Frontier? While you're in the habit of fixing old bugs like 16 button limit, no, it's more than that, wasn't it? 32 button limits. It'd be really nice if the planets actually reflected the true current state of night and day. That'd be lovely.
It'd be really lovely. Really lovely.
Do they not reflect that in the orrery?
Nope. How hard can it be?
Yeah, the orrery would just be this is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not right. It don't work. It's not right. Wow. So on to any other business. Starship Simulator, its Kickstarter still has 10 days left. It's achieved 3 of its stretch goals. It's doing very well. It looks very cool. It's got it's just hit up to planetary landings. on it's thing Jimmer what's it. I will say with regard to the Kickstarter, if you are a member of the Kickstarter and you're a member of the Kickstarter who backed it to £100 to the £100 worth, you get the opportunity to design a race, I
thought you were talking races and Alex things.
Yeah, I
no. An alien race. But there are hundreds of people who have backed it to an alien race. So
I didn't limit it.
I have there are hundreds and hundreds of people who have backed to that amount. I can't see it now. I've tried to open here we go. The Commodore level, which is £100, design an alien race. There are 594 backers to that amount.
Wow.
So there's going to be
alien races.
That's a lot of alien races, and good luck, Dan.
Space is big.
Space is big. Space is big. I'm hoping that some people are quite happy with little small, not sentient creatures, because that seems like a lot.
To be honest, I don't know what qualifies as a race, but we've got quite a lot of different types of animals on Earth, haven't we? Probably got more than 500.
Yeah.
So probably got more than 500 just in your back garden.
You probably got more than 500 just in your body.
It does sound very cool though, the way that they're doing the sort of planet maker and the race maker though, that you're going to be able to sort of pick. I think you pick sort of the seeds of your system. I don't think you get to generate the entire orrery, but you get to sort of go, right, what class of star in your main planet, and then you get to write the lore as well if you want.
Yeah.
So you get to
it is really cool
to generate some of the most nonsense lore in the world.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. It is really cool. But if you haven't backed them already and you would like to, it says 10 days left here. I've just looked and it says 9 days left on Kickstarter. So there's like a few more days by which you can go and do your thing and support to get what looks like it's going to be a very full galaxy of creatures and things and what's it. There's also linked in the show notes. I might have mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I was off in Dundee, and I went for me and the Crescent Mock 4 met up and had a meal and some drinks. But I was actually there to talk accessibility with the team over at Hyperluminal Games and their new release, which is coming out at some point this year, Pine Hearts, which is an adorable little game, but it was a big showcase of the accessibility features within that game and the way that they have constantly built the game with adaptive controllers in mind. Special, you know how we feel about special effect just in general. It was very nice to be able to go up there and talk about accessibility with them, and there is a YouTube video which is listed linked in the show notes if you would like to see it. One other bit of news that I didn't add here, 3 years ago during a Lave Radio, I received an email celebrating, like letting me know that I just got Twitch partner, and I'd been waiting 6 weeks to receive that email, and I received it during an episode of Lave Radio. That anniversary is this Friday. Would be lovely to see you. We're going to be playing some Elite. Just throwing it out there.
3 years. Hey. Wow.
3 heckin' years ago that was.
No.
When I lost my mind when I got Twitch partner and I couldn't say words. Yeah, 3 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sat right in this very chair.
That does not feel like it was 3 years ago.
It was.
I know. Where's the time go, eh?
Well, we had like a big period of time that didn't actually properly exist because we were all stuck in our homes. But 3 heckin' years, wild. Okay, so unless anyone else has anything to add, you lovely beans, I'll take your deafening silence as a no. Then we shall move on to the shout-outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or for just the radio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, you can check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts that have appeared or regular standard. They've not appeared over the last year. We need to get rid of that. That's a silly thing to say because they've been going on for ages. And that is the Guards Frequency and Loose Screws. And if you do not let the funky music do the talking and you speak French, you can listen to the Elite Dangerous crew, who also have a podcast that they do. Following this, we do have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejuice. Thank you to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat and our in-game commanders. Who have you seen, Chris?
We have got Siberius in a really cool hat. We've got Duck1 wearing really cool shades. We've got Bograt and Andy Sharp 42. Incredible. Special thanks to Commander Tokoso, JN Trax and Alan Stroud, who created the music used on the show. And that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, then you can find contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Chris. You're welcome.
That's weird when it's coming at this point. Thank you to Alec.
Night all. Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care.
And thank you to Ben.
Meh. I don't care.
Incredible. Well, why are you not throwing your hands about in the air like you just don't?
Because I don't care.
And special thanks to today's tech specialist, the Chris Mark 5.
I want to make a planet of sentient rocks that are judgmental or voiced by Limmy or Peter Capaldi.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
On that bombshell, until next time, commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word. Space can be done. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Galnet News Digest, 9th of April 3310. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, with the under-resourced Galnet newsfeed struggling to cope with an exhausting schedule of one 200-word article per week, we bring you the latest news from the Pilots Federation and from the Defence Council of Humanity.
The Pilots Federation has announced the release tomorrow of the new Achilles Aerospace overcharged frameshift drive, but there are already concerns that its inter-system capabilities might underperform the existing Sirius FSD. Details are as yet scarce, and the Achilles Corporation has yet to make an announcement. However, the signature feature of the Achilles drive is Super Cruise Overcharge, so it appears highly likely that it will confer upon human ships the ability to travel as fast between the bodies in a system as the Thargoids travelled towards the bubble back in October and November 3308. This makes sense, as it was the Thargoid drive components used by the Titans that have been reverse engineered to create the new Achilles drive. If it reduces the Hutton orbital run to 10 minutes or less, if it makes travel through a Thargoid system faster, and thus less prone to annoying interdiction, if it saves having to play a movie to stave off Super Cruise boredom, then it will be welcome. However, the Pilots Federation has also mentioned that the new drive will be a Class C, generally considered to offer a balanced but not outstanding performance. This strongly implies that the trade-off for faster intra-system transit times will be a far lower inter-system jump range. You may be able to get to Hutton orbital quickly, but Colonia will take a lot longer than before. The drives are expected to be available from Wednesday the 10th of April at the better high-tech stations. For those actually wanting to jump to Colonia, there's good news. The 5A pre-engineered frameshift drives will from tomorrow once again become capable of having the Mass Manager experimental modification applied for the very best available jump range.
Titan Oya caused consternation last week when it put out a fleet of Orthrus interceptors to attempt to gain more systems to strengthen its defensive position prior to the inevitable attack. The initial reaction of the Xeno Strike Force and the Anti-Xeno Initiative was to press on with the attacks against the Titan to attempt to destroy it before the alert systems could be invaded. However, the Titan proved too hard to overcome in a week, with not even the first heart destroyed. Instead, the backup plan, which apparently involves gathering thousands of tissue samples from Thargoid scouts, has shamed the Thargoids into completely abandoning their ambitions to expand. They get really embarrassed at the state of their carapaces and can't find a good moisturiser anywhere. Oya has been left with 7 controlled systems and a couple of alert systems in a calculated move to maximise the chances of leaving it at its most vulnerable. There's a spire site in Cephi sector XO-A B3, and apparently contaminating the supplies that it sends to Oya can greatly assist in weakening the Titan. We won't know until Thursday when Oya can be defeated. However, it seems clear that someone in Thargoid High Command wasn't willing to see the remaining 6 Titans fall as quickly as Tyrannus and Ligong.
A no-fly zone has been declared across the entire Milky Way galaxy tomorrow, Wednesday the 10th of April, to allow for an emergency update of ship firmware. The update, which will allegedly become available at 12 noon, adds support for input devices with more than 32 buttons, which will be particularly useful for species with more than 10 fingers. But the 2 most important improvements will be the removal of the repeated FSD failure imminent message for passengers visiting a Titan, and a better translation of Titan drive component in Brazilian Portuguese. This last change is particularly important as the Brazilian League of Pilots have been particularly badly hit by the Thargoid invasion, and they would at least like to know what these strange objects really are. Commanders are likely to have to wait patiently for the new firmware to install before they can attempt to become the first commander to complete the Hutton run in under 12 parsecs.
And that's this week's Pilots Federation Release Notes. Pilots Federation Release Notes. We read the notes, so you don't have to.